Hey guys, welcome back to Advanced Bass Fishing. I really appreciate you guys checking out today's video. And guys, today I'm going to give you some tips and advice. If you can pick and choose the days you have to fish. Say for example, you get to fish 2 or 3 times a month and you want to maximize the best day on the water for you to go. I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on the type of day that you do not want to go fishing in, because the fishing is usually tougher on these type of days. It's not obvious. It's not like fishing after a cold front, like a lot of people know. This is another factor with that. So we're going to get into that in today's video, and I think it's going to definitely help you guys pick and choose your days a little bit better. Also, guys, thank you very much for everybody that has taken time to check out my Fish the Moment Lake Map breakdowns, man. We got our winter maps up right now. These are great resources, guys, to get some good wintertime fishing places. We actually got maps for all 4 seasons of the year. I'll have my lake map breakdown link in the description. And also, guys, I'm booking on the water lessons right now for jerkbait fishing. Jerkbait fishing's on fire in Missouri right now. If you want to learn how to fish a jerkbait, shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, and I'll get you all the details about booking a trip with me. So I really appreciate that. Okay, talk about the best type of days to fish when you want to maximize the days that you want to be out there and when you do not want to be out there. Okay, a lot of this has to do, time of the year, and there's some different type of factors with that. But one of the things that I want to talk a little bit about today is some tips and advice on each season as far as the type of day that you do not want to go fishing in, and definitely going to add up to a lot more success on it, because bass, they feed in windows and they feed more aggressively under certain conditions. So just take heed for this, what we're getting into, because it's really true. I have found it to be true in my own fishing. Okay, first of all, talk about wintertime like we're in right now. If you're fishing between like December, January, and February, it's very tempting to go out on the really nice days. Let's say, for example, you get one of those days where it's 10 degrees above normal, and it's like you look at the weather forecast and it's supposed to be 60 degrees, nice on a Saturday, and you're saying, man, I got to go fishing. It's going to be 60 degrees. I bet that fishing is going to be good. Guys, that's the worst mistake you can make. If you get a nice day in the wintertime, like where it's above normal temperature, you can pretty much guess or predict for sure the fishing is going to suck. I can't tell you how many days that I've been fishing in the wintertime where I was all excited about going fishing because it was supposed to be nice and warm and maybe 20 degrees above normal, and you can't get a bite. So in the wintertime, I have always done better in nastier conditions. It seems like it always works my way that well, without any doubt. Okay, now the springtime of the year, when you're talking about like specifically March, April, and early May, the opposite's true. It's like there's something about a brighter type of a day where you got nice weather and the water's starting to warm up. It makes the fish a lot more aggressive. The fish are wanting to move up in the springtime of the year. That's their natural inclination because they're getting ready to spawn. They want to find spawning areas. And if you have a nice day in the spring, especially a nice day where you don't have any wind, this is the best time to go. And some of the worst times to go during the springtime of the year are those really windy, low light days. Now, they work a little bit in the pre-spawn. Say, for example, when the water's in the 50s, a low light, windy day can actually, be pretty productive. But if you start getting into the actual spring part where that water temperature starts to get around 60, I have found personally that those fish get active on those bright days where there's not much wind, and that water, that shallow water, is warming up with the combination of not having any wind. You get a lot of radiation in the water, warms that shallow water up in a hurry, and activates those fish. So that's a sort of an opposite from the wintertime. Hold on, guys. I've got to take one quick break here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Getting into summer now, let's start to talk about when you have a transition into warmer weather where, water temperatures are 75 degrees or warmer. One of the things that you're going to notice is like you start getting into this, mentality that fish bite better during low light conditions and cloudy, windy, rainy type days. And that's true. Like I said, there are some truths to that, with the exception of like just what I just got done saying about the spring when that water's around 60. But when that water gets hot, like it gets warm, and let's say, for example, you got a cold front coming in and it's cloudy and maybe the temperature drops a little bit. Instead of 90 degrees, it's one of those days you get it's 78 or 80 for high, really nice day, and maybe Maybe there's some cloudy overcast, maybe even some mist and rain with this front coming through in the summertime. And you think the same thing. It's like, man, these fish are going to get fired up because, it's cooled off a little bit and the temperature is going to drop a little bit, and it's going to make those fish active. Not true, guys. This is not the time you want to go. I have never seen a situation in the summertime where you have one of those nasty days that are traditionally really good for bass fishing, that it makes any difference in the summertime. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, if you say, for example, if you're fishing a buzzbait at daylight, and that usually works for an hour or so in the summertime at any time, maybe instead of lasting an hour, maybe it lasts an hour and a half, and then it's over with after that once the sun starts to get up. But the nasty, cloudy, overcast, low light days that bass tend to like in the summertime, they have the least impact. So I tell you that my favorite conditions to fish in the summertime is a sunny, hot day with not much wind. Because you know why that's really good? Is it positions the fish. They're very predictable, because if you have a bright day when there's not much wind, those fish in the summertime will get in shade, and they're really easy to target. It's like they get underneath boat docks, underneath overhanging trees, anywhere that there's some shade in the water. So I like the brighter type sunny days in the summertime. Now, in the fall time of the year, usually like October, November, during that time frame, this is the time of year you do not want to fish on a nice day. You do not want to be out there on those days where it's just a beautiful fall day. It's like partly cloudy, it's 70 degrees, it's light winds, it's really, really nice out there. That's the worst time of a type of a day to fish during the fall time of the year. In the fall, you want the nasty days. It's like, if I could give you one piece of advice, a bass fishing period all year long, take advantage of the nasty days in the fall time of the year, because it fires those fish up. So let's say, for example, you've got some time to fish between mid-September to early November. Take a look at the 10-day forecast that you have. You can pull it up on about any weather map and pick out the day where it's supposed to be nasty. If you got a 70-80% chance of rain and the wind's going to be blowing out of the south at 20, plan a fishing trip, because they're going to be biting. And they bite moving baits. They bite aggressive, larger crankbaits, spinner baits, topwaters, spinner baits, glide baits. Those are all really good under those conditions. And try to stay away from those days that are not much wind or bright, high sun intensity, because they just don't work very good with that. So anyway, guys, that's just a few tips that I can give you season by season to pick the best day to be on the water. If you have that opportunity to do that, just follow some of those guidelines, and it'll definitely increase your odds of having a good day on the water if you're out there on the right type of day. It just makes the fishing so much easier. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.